So today I'm going to do an inverse of a matrix. So I'm doing today exercise 3.4. Exercise 3.4, question number 4. So it says we have to inverse of 2, 3, 5, 7. So we have to find the inverse of this matrix, right? Now look at it very carefully. So in order to perform elementary row operation, we write, what do we write? So we are doing row operation, so it will be A is equal to IA. Okay, very clear. A is equal to IA. This is our first step. So A is our 2, 3, 5, 7. I is our 1, 0, 0, 1. Now this A, I have nothing to do with this A, so this A will remain as A. Now in your rough, just write in here 1, 0, 0, 1. So I have to make this A into this, and the same operation which I used to make this A into I, will apply that operation with this I. And what you will get is, this I will become A inverse. This A will become A is equal to IA. This A will become A inverse. This A will become I, which we will do. And automatically the same operations which we do, will perform those in I also. And this I will change into A inverse. Okay, without us knowing, this I will become A inverse. Okay, but we should do this we should perform this A into I correctly, then only this I will become A inverse, or it will be something else. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do the operations. So first thing what we see is, we'll look at the first column. Okay, the first column will look, and the first element we see is, in here it's 2, but in here it's 1. So I need to make this 2 into 1. So whenever we have to make an element 1, so what we do is, we multiply. So we have to use this operation, applying. So what operation? Whenever we have to get an element 1, so we'll just multiply the reciprocal of that element. Okay, so in here the element is 2, right? So what I will do, first thing, the element lies in first row. So I will write R1, because I need to change the element of R1. R1 implies R1 multiplied by the reciprocal of 2 is what? 1 by 2. If I do this thing, you see 2 into 1 by 2 becomes 1. So keep this one in mind. Whenever we have to get 1, we always multiply the reciprocal of the element. Okay, so this is our first operation. So now by doing this operation, what happens? This becomes 1, 3 becomes 3 by 2, 5 remains as 5, 7 remains 7, because it's R2. We are doing nothing with R2. Now the same operation will do it in here. So R1 is 1, so it becomes 1 by 2. R1 is 0, so it becomes 0, 0, 1, A, right? So this element is done. Now you see the second element of column 1, it's 5, right? But it's 0 in here. Now listen carefully, whenever we have to get 0 as an element, we will be using 2 rows. With the help of 2 rows, we will try to get 0. Okay, so how to make this one 0? Look at here. If I multiply 5 with 1, I can subtract these two and I can get 0. So basically we will not multiply 5 into 1. We will multiply 5 with row 1, because it's in row 1 and it's row 2. We are doing elementary row operations. That's why all the operations have to be row wise. Understood? We cannot pick elements and we can just multiply and we can get it. So we have to do it with row wise. We have to do with each and every element of the rows. So applying, this element lies in row 2. I am making row 2 element 0. So row 2 implies, you write the same row which you are going to perform. Row 2 minus, we'll subtract. What should I subtract? We'll subtract 5 minus R1. First we'll multiply 5 with this one, then we subtract, we get this one 0. So let's do the operation. Acha, first thing, to make less mistake, try to write this one operation in here, right? Initially you need to write this one. Look, whenever you're starting to learn something new, try to work hard and do patiently, do slowly. Understood? Once you are very, what should I say, very sure what you're doing, that it will be correct, then you can move faster. Okay? Or else when you're starting a race, move slowly, then you run fast. Okay? First you know your path, then you can walk. Understood? If you're walking in darkness, obviously you will walk slowly, right? But if there is a light, what you will do? You will run, right? So now R2 is our 5 minus, you see 5 into 1, the corresponding element of 5 is 1, so we get 0. Now the R2 element is 7, the corresponding element of 7 is 3 by 2, so 5 into 3 by 2. So how much is that? It is what, 15, right? 5 into 3, 15. And if I do the LCM, 2 into 7 is 14. I'm doing in my mind, you should do it in your copy nicely. Acha, fine, I'll write 14 minus 15 by 2, that is equal to minus 1 by 2. Acha, we'll write here 1. Row 1 element will remain same. So here it will be 0. It will be minus 1 by 2. Now the same operation will do it in here. So this one will be what? Row 1 element will be remain same. So first thing, row 2 is what? 0. Minus 5 into row 1 element is half. Corresponding element, this corresponding is half. So it is minus 5 by 2. So minus 5 by 2. Now row 2 element is 1. 1 minus corresponding row 2 element R1 is, row 1 element is 0. 5 into 0. So it will be 1. So this one is 1 and that will be A, right? Now you see in here is, here we see minus half, right? But in here it's 1. So how can I get 1 from minus half? I already told you, whenever I have to get 1, I just multiply the reciprocal of this thing. So what is the reciprocal of half? It's 2. But since there is a minus, so I will just multiply with minus 2. So write down, applying, what should I make? R2 implies R2 multiplied by minus 2, right? So if I multiply R2 with minus 2, what I get? So this one is 1, 3 by 2, 0. This becomes your minus 2, 1. Okay? Now same thing, will multiply this one. Acha, R1 element will remain same. If I multiply minus 2 with this one, minus 1 will become plus. 2 and 2 gets cancelled, so it is 5. And here it will be minus 2, A. Understood? So 3 elements are done. Now we are with the last element, that is 3 by 2. Now how can I get? So 3 by 2 I have to make it as 0, right? So how can I make 3 by 2 0? By using R1. So what should I, in my head, the operation will be what? R1 minus, you see 1. So it will be 3 by 2 R2. Clear? So I will just multiply 3 by 2 into 1. R1 is 3 by 2, so I get 0, right? So look at the first element in here. Achha, this one, achha, let's do it. R1 is what? 1 minus, you see there will be no problem. 3 by 2 into 0. That's why I told you to first start with row 1. So this one becomes what? 1. So it's 1. Okay, oh, sorry, I have to write the operation in here. Applying R1 implies R1 minus 3 by 2 R2, right? Now you see at this element. So it is what? 3 by 2 minus R2 element is what? 1. 3 by 2 into 1, that is 0. So 1, 0, 0, 1. R2 element will remain fixed. Now we have to change this one, half. So R1 element is half minus 3 by 2 into 5. So how much is this one? So it is minus 15, right? So what I get? Half minus, so 1 minus 15 by 2, that is minus 14. So it will be minus 7. So I will write here minus 7. Yes or no? Now We move on to this one. So R1 is 0. 0 minus 3 by 2 into minus 2. Clear? So minus minus will become plus. 2 gets cancelled. So it will be 3. Clear? So I will write 5 minus 2. And this one will be A. Right? So this one is equal to what? I is equal to A inverse A. Therefore, A inverse is equal to minus 7, 3, 5 minus 2. That's your answer. Okay? Clear?